When we think of childhood foods, tomato soup and grilled cheese is one of the first things that come to mind. Although we never really had it a lot growing up, it's still one of the first things we think of. Another delicious cheesy carb-related tomato favorite of ours is penne alla vodka. The creaminess and tomato flavor work so well together, and it's the reason why tomato soup is often garnished with sour cream. So we wanted to do a play on those. Let's make tomato alla vodka soup with garlic bread grilled cheese. First, we need to build our flavor base. Cut onions, celery, and garlic into a small dice. Don't worry too much about the size, as we'll be blending this all in the end. We'll need about 1 cup of onion, half a cup of celery, and 5 to 8 cloves of garlic. We love garlic, so you know we went with a larger amount. Most recipes we've seen ask for 4 or 5, but use what you prefer. The last piece of prep is to chop up the prosciutto. We'll end up with small crispy bits that we can top the soup with. Now everything is prepped and we're ready to cook. In a large pot, add your prosciutto and cook it on low to render the fat. Stir frequently to get an even browning on all of the pieces. Once everything looks nice and crispy, we can take the prosciutto out and use the leftover fat to cook the aromatics. Add the onion and celery to the pot with a pinch of salt to help draw out the moisture. Cook for 5 to 8 minutes until the onions and celery are translucent. Once they look done, add the garlic and cook for another minute. We're only looking to soften these, we don't want to brown them. After the minute is up, add tomato paste. Cook it down for a bit and deglaze the pan with vodka. Scrape the fond off the bottom of the pot, and once all the flavor is lifted from the bottom, add the rest to your liquids. Add a quart of chicken broth, a can of tomatoes, and bring the pot to a simmer. If you have crushed tomatoes, we recommend using those for ease, but if you only have whole tomatoes, lightly crush them while adding them to the pot. Again, we'll be blending this, so don't stress too much about crushing them. Once it's simmering, season with paprika, black pepper, cayenne, and some sugar to balance the tomatoes' acidity. Here, I would taste your soup to see if it needs more seasoning. To thicken this, we'll be using rice. You could use a slurry of flour or cornstarch, but according to the wise words of Chef John at foodwishes.com, rice creates a more silky and smooth texture, so that's what we went with. Let this simmer for 35 to 45 minutes until everything is tender. While your soup is simmering away, it's a good time to cook the pasta. I'm sure most of you know how to cook pasta, but we just wanted to talk about the type we used. We didn't want this to feel like pasta with just too much sauce, so we chose a small noodle because you can have a good amount of it, but it doesn't take up the whole bowl. You still want this to feel like a soup and not a pasta dish. Plus, farfalle looks really cool. After about 45 minutes, blend the soup until smooth, but let it cool a bit before blending. Once you're happy with the consistency, add the soup back into the pot and add half a cup of cream. Whisk this until it's thoroughly mixed, and you'll want to taste it here again just to see if you need more seasoning. You may need to add more salt, pepper, cayenne, or sugar. And if the soup is too thick, add some broth. If it's too thin, cook on low and reduce until you're happy. Stir frequently, as it's easy for the bottom of the pot to burn at this stage. Now that your soup is done, set it to the side and we can make our grilled cheese. The first step is to make our garlic chive butter. Mix 3 tablespoons of butter, chives, 2 cloves of garlic, salt, and some olive oil in a small bowl until it's well combined. Spread a good amount of the butter onto one side of the bread, then place the bread butter side down in a large pan over medium heat. Add your cheese and cover with a lid to help the cheese melt. Once golden brown, you can place the remaining slice of bread butter side up and carefully flip it. Cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until the second side is golden brown. If your cheese isn't melted, you could put it on its side to melt a bit more. Once done, transfer to your cutting board and slice diagonally. This is the fanciest way to cut a sandwich. Now that our soup and grilled cheese are done, we can plate. Ladle into a warm bowl and garnish with chunks of mozzarella, your prosciutto, and some basil. If you're extra like us, you can use some food tweezers, but you can really throw it on there however you want. We also drizzled a bit of olive oil on top. The soup was really addicting and pretty filling once you add the grilled cheese. If you do give this recipe a try, let us know how it goes. And if you enjoyed watching this video, it'd be great if you could leave a comment, like, or subscribe to our channel to see upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and just a reminder, we are not trained professionals, but please try this at home.